Okay, we're back. Let's talk about photonics in relation to the experience in the dog park. All right. So, remember I told you, you start looking into the light, you're going to see what's on the face of the light floating in your black void space, and which is what that little spot is. Eventually, it forms more and more as you go, and everything forms more. And these fruitioning things of the unknown that aren't here that you can walk through are the same reasons why you'll fall to your death for sure. If you were to like jump from a building thinking maybe you could fly or something, just the same as these becoming phototonically tangible in this electric land that we live in, this light simulation. This is what this is exactly. But the more tangible they become, the further you go into inducing these electrical perceptions. By the time you get there, you'll probably be like this, just like, oh, shaman state, whatever is whatever, because you realize anything can exist somehow. It's weird. It's like you realize a lot of different things. Well, anyways, when I first seen one of these, it was in my dreamscape space. All right, kind of like building up the perception. It was walking behind a dude like it was going into a bank, and it magically went under the door and said, but it looked back at me before it went in there, and it was like, can this motherfucker see us? Like that. I was just like, he's wondering if I can see him, and he's looking at me with this look like, oh shit, no, he can't see us. And he just goes in there, and I'm just like, wow, this is like a dream, but it was real. So I'm realizing that just like everything else, the faces on the trees show up in your astral space, and then they start showing up on the trees. Then you start seeing different faces. So the further you go, the more like an animation this thing is. So it's like it's like everything in here has got that going, but it's all just electricity in the same relationship of the same equation, I guess you can say. Like a piston moving, this whole thing is kind of like that. All right, so this one was translucent in this space. There was a poodle that was coming in from that way, and he was there. And he had a pink vest on that was like, and I realized they wear a lot of bright colors, even though they're like nasty or whatever. It's because whenever you're there, everything's more vibrant, like all the green and stuff. So they're like products of their environment. Like they're wearing colors that coincide with what they can see out of their own perception, like neon, bright, vibrant shit like that. So the poodle comes in, and I look and I see it standing at the front of the dog park, and I'm like, wow, what a coincidence! There's a dog in a dog park, and it sees that I see it, and it disappears. So I'm like, okay, so is it like a frequency that it can like turn up and try to hide itself, or I don't know, like maybe it can like camouflage itself and then bring my perception, which is going to stay where it's at. Maybe it brings its frequency up so it hides and becomes less tangible. I don't know. But anyway, this one right here was clear, and it had a big ass blue car that was the size of a 1-story house with big ass wheels on it. And I was just like, wow, like I seen it. I seen it and I seen him. And he was about 7 feet away from me. By the time I seen him, I'm like way over here at this point by this tree. And he's like way over there. And he sees me and he's like, he gets scared. He's like, fuck. And he goes running to the thing. And his feet were so, his legs were so stubby like this that his feet were moving like this to run back to this thing here. He hops into it and it immediately takes off. Like, and that made me realize he probably doesn't even know what he's doing. He's probably controlling it with his thoughts. And whatever manufactures these things, however it's possible, probably creates it like it creates it for a U.S. citizen. Like a U.S. citizen gets in a car, like a car like this. Like we don't know. Most of us don't know how these things work. We just get in them and then we turn them on and we go. You know what I mean? Kind of like that. It just hops in it and it fucking immediately goes. It doesn't even need to be started. So I was like, dude, this dude's controlling his car with his mind. But yeah, as much as that, when this happened, I stayed in the park the whole day. Like I didn't get scared and leave. It was like I was somewhere else. So what that tells us is that the only thing that makes us scared of things like this is excitotoxin. That's it. So if you're sun gazing, he recalibrates your whole brain to be something that's more, I guess, fearless or whatever. Like you're not afraid. And it's a trait of something that we're supposed to be naturally, not something that we're conditioned to be or whatever. But yeah, he was clear, and I'm realizing now with this relationship of this whole photonic understanding or whatever this place is, that eventually, once they become tangible, you'll see why they're afraid. Because once they become tangible, you can just grab them, and then that light's gonna go straight into them. That's pretty much what I'm thinking is gonna happen if these things become more something that you can touch because you know that it's there, kind of like your superpowers. Once you realize that you have superhuman abilities, you'll be able to punch through anything. That's pretty much what I realized on the porch when I'm trying to catch my breath because I was just smoking some herbal excitement. No. But anyways, like when I realized on the porch, I was like, oh my gosh, I was made to love. Oh my gosh, I can do anything. Wait a minute, why is your skin green? And then I was sitting across from her, and her skin was turning green, and her teeth started to drip.